Right, we are back. Sorry about that. Sorry about the internet problem and the stream cutting off. I came back with my cup of tea, and the second it sat down, my internet died. So, I'm very sorry for that. If you want to make your way back to this stream, we will carry on what we were doing. And hopefully my internet won't give me any more grief. So, where were we? We had set up the controls to make our legs move backwards and forwards. So the next thing we need to do is create a system to make that work on its own. Right, so what we need is we need another timer. Well, we need a timer. I haven't put any timers in here yet. We need... Oh, hey, Adria. Oh, crap, no, sorry, I didn't. I didn't get a chance to have a look at it. Did you, Oh, we posted a link to it in the Mech Engineers Discord, didn't you? Remind me again before the end of the stream and I'll have a look. I think I got distracted by other stuff. But, yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And I'm sorry for the stream dying on me. And on everyone else as well. My internet is still a bit shit, and still doing my head in. There's 1 minute, it works fine, and then all of a sudden, just nope. It just nopes out. And goes, nope, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm going to completely disconnect for no reason at all. Right, so... I'm actually, yeah, let's... what should we do? How should we do it? Oh, actually, let's do it like that. Let's take that up. And let's... How should we do it? Let's port. I want that seat, that control seat, to be raised up block anyway. So we can make use of that. Oh, it's not your fault. Oh yeah, man. I'll have a look at it. I'll let you know what I think of it in the Discord. And I'll leave a comment on it there. That way you'll definitely know what I think about it. Right. So we need a... How should we do this? Let's put a controller there. Because we need a controller to look at a rotor. And then we need the controller to trigger a timer. So we'll have a controller walk cycle, and then we'll have a walk cycle timer. Yeah. And then I can just put my control seat back on top of that, although I'm probably going to need to put a block back in the middle, aren't I? Yeah. I'm just going to give me grief. Right, let's put a block back in the middle, and I can delete that later and put something else in its place. So yeah, then we've got a slightly more elevated seating position. rather than being sat completely on the floor. Oh, but then, oh yeah, I'm gonna have that problem up there, aren't I? Or will I? No, it should be alright. So then, we need a rotor for the controller to respond to. I'm gonna stick that on the ceiling, right above the control seat, because why not? Do I want it elevated that high though? Maybe I do want it a bit lower. Nah, we'll go with that for now. Right, so, oh, need to name that rotor. Walk, cycle, rotor. Oh no, don't worry, AJ, I wouldn't be that rude about it. I'm not that competitive about things. What's that? You are ready for the update tomorrow. Feel kind of like a kid waiting to open presents. Yeah, man, I feel like that every single time there's an update to a game I like. Particularly with Space Engineers, because there's... well, each new update tends to bring with it new weird stuff that I can do. Right, so this walk cycle timer. Ultimately, all it's going to do is turn on and off that light and that light. Oh yeah, I deleted the cockpit, so all those buttons are gone. Let's stick that there, and then we're gonna have a timer that can do that for us. Every time we trigger it. So we can now have the walk cycle timer, walk cycle controller, look at angle changed. And look at that rotor. And every time that rotor spins round, it will trigger that timer. So now we can put a bit of braking torque on there, stick a bit of speed on that rotor, and the walk cycle will tick over for us. I'll stick that all the way at 60. We might need to change this and put in 2 event controllers. In fact, this is what we will do. We will take out that timer and replace it. It's easy enough to rebuild, and we will do another event controller there. That can be walk cycle number 1. Copy all. That can be walk cycle number 2, and then this way we can double the speed essentially. And then we'll make that walk cycle again, because that's really easy to rebuild. Type in cycle, so that does that, and this will do exactly the same thing, just 180 degrees round from the other one, because we've got 2, so you divide 360 by 2, you get 180. So you can see that one's ticking around every time it gets to there, that one's ticking around every time it gets to there. Quickly rebuild this walk cycle timer 01, so we need that one on and off, that one on and off, and then we just stick them into here. So that can get triggered there. So you see that's going around at 60 RPM, going at that speed. So if we halve that, and then do the same thing in this one, we get back to essentially that same speed at 60 RPM that we had before, and now rotating at half the RPM, so we can go much faster if we wanted to. That's obviously too quick, but it means we've got a little bit more precision in how fast we make the legs move, so we can take out any little stutters or stops like that. So what was it, 30 was looking alright, but not quite, so 35. That doesn't look too bad. And then, if we want to make that stop, we can turn off either these controllers, that timer, or this rotor. I turn that off. That all stops. That stops spinning. Oh, hello. What's that? Zig Atoll. Return your game. Space Engineers continues to add game-changing updates that keep the true engineers on the edge of their seats. It certainly does, man. That's why I love this game. I've not been around like the whole 10 years of it. I've only been playing it for maybe 5 or 6, but even in that time, there's been vast improvements to this game that have changed it quite dramatically. And I hope for a few more while they're developing Space Engineers 2. And I hope Space Engineers 2, when it eventually materialises, is even better than this. Alright, so now we've got a walk cycle that we can turn on and off. Let's give that a little test and see how well it works. Because again, when you're building mechs, it's a good idea to do lots of testing as you go to see if it's actually working, or whether you're just wasting your time with an idea that doesn't do very well. Now, that's the point. I need to put some actual power on this main grid. Keep forgetting about that. Just slap that there for now while we test it. Turn that on. Oh, there you go. That's walking forwards. And then, with a bit of gyro on it, we can control that wobble. And we can make it turn. And with a bit of tweaking to some settings, we can do other stuff as well. But, like that suspension for a start, if we whack that strength all the way up to 100, the wheels will jiggle less. We'll get a little bit of a better grip on the floor. Yeah, so that's a pretty good start. It actually moves. Cool. Oh, cheers, Aja. Yeah, multi-pads. Honestly, multi-pads are kind of easier to build than bipads. It's an apples and oranges kind of situation. They've both got their pros and cons. Bipads have less legs, and it involves less programming and fiddling around, but are inherently a hell of a lot more wobbly. And then it's the inverse for multipads. You've got more legs, so it involves more fiddling around, but this thing, as you just saw, can walk without any gyroscopes at all, because things with more legs are inherently more balanced. Right, so I need to put in some kind of gyro control. And the way I usually like to do gyro control is with subgrids and silly things. Oh, actually, before we do that, we should probably continue setting up some of these walk controls. Because I'm going to need these to do a bunch of other things. Because I'm going to need more timers and more event controllers and more bits to do more stuff. Because we're going to need a... That's the wrong button. We're going to need to put that the right way around for a start. We're going to need some time event controllers to make the vanilla control system, so we need... Oh, hey Jack. Hello, Jack. I am building an APC with legs today. I'm going to make a little people carrying unit. I've already sort of pre-designated some bays to have some stuff like this. I'm going to fiddle around with it at a later date. But that's why I've got this big yellow pad to build it on, because that fits nicely through those doors. So I'm making it fit that shape, and it should be fine, hopefully. But yeah, little people carrier with legs. So what do we do about this? You know what, I'm quite happy with the spacing of those seats for now. So let's put... Let's make that grey for a start. Let's put a little bit of a ceiling in, essentially. How many am I going to need? I'll probably have to give it 2 at least, I reckon. I need them to have a little bit of space because I don't want anything to collide. And it's going to have a gyroscope. It's been hanging down a bit though. You know what? Let's just recess that roof a bit. That will come out. That can be that for now. And then, where is it? There it is. I'm going to need to cover that anyway. Well, we can work with the idea for now that the roof is going to be that tall. So that won't cause us too many problems. Yeah, okay. Let's have 2 then, so we'll have that. Where's that? That is that one. We'll take that out, and we will stick a gyroscope in there. Have it like that, and have it sticking out as far as it can go. to avoid clanging around. And then we'll do the same there. That facing forward. So then that can go all the way out. Right, that can be turn rotor number 1. That will want to be, give it 1,000,000 torque for now. Leave that unlimited, share inertia tensor on, that's very important for this thing to work. And then we need gyroscope. Let's make it rusty weird colour. We'll have that one there. We'll have that one there. That's a really awkward angle to work at. There we go, that's more sensible. Right, so that is all of that. Copy all of that. Paste all of that onto there. That'll be number 2. That gets to be turn gyro. Then we stick override controls on that. Copy all. Paste that onto there. That gets to be number 2. That's got override on it. That's got share inertia tensor on. Right, cool. So, with that little setup, what you can do is, that is pretty much, for anyone that has used, I am literally about to explain that, Jack. For anyone that's used the advanced walker script, that is pretty much how you set up the gyro turning control system that script uses. And since we've been gifted with event controllers, I've been figuring out a way to vanillify how that works. Because what it does is sticking them on rotors with share inertia tensor on and override controls on, is it basically shifts the entire mass of the main grid against the mass of those little rotors. Stick that on there for some power, because I still want to work that out. And then you can basically turn the entire grid using those rotors. It is how the turning control system works on the big base. It is how it works on most of my mechs that I can fit it into. So you can take both of these rotors and literally turn the velocity to make your mech move left and right. So we give it a little bit, it'll turn that way. Give it a little bit, it'll turn that way. And you can make the entire grid shift around like so. And because of the override controls being set to nothing on there, it will also kind of help the mech maintain balance. Now you see that's a lot more stable than it was 10 minutes ago when we had no gyroscopes on it. And all it takes, if you do the share inertia tensor trick with gyros like this, you don't actually need as many gyroscopes to keep something stable and balanced, because the physics engine is doing a lot of that with the share inertia tensor mechanics. So you can see that is like infinitely more stable than it was. And now we can take those 2 turn rotors and turn the mech like that. And we can set controls up to increase and decrease the velocity of those rotors for us, and make it turn manually. And we can even do a bit of fiddling around to make this thing walk quicker. I usually start slowly just so I can see what the actual walk cycle is going to look like and what needs to respond in at what speeds, and then once we've done that you can just start gradually increasing the velocities and make it a bit quicker. But there you go. That is how that is going to turn, and then that still gives us a little bit of space, so we've not got a spinning rotor dangling directly above our heads. Cool, and then that'll pretty much be all it needs for gyroscopes on here, because I'm going to give it WASD controls, so you control the mech with the keyboard or control pad. The mouse or right stick won't be involved in the slightest. That'll be reserved for being able to use whatever weapons that I put on this thing. Right, so we next need some vanilla controls to make. Oh, sorry, what's that saying, Aja? You need to learn the vanilla way. Do you like the script, but it'd be nice to know my way? Just keep watching these streams, and stealing ideas from them. That's the whole reason I do them. And just experiment with things yourself as well. Like, I figured out most of this stuff from just messing around until it worked, or it was obvious it wasn't going to work and I tried something else. What are you saying, Jack? You agree with Aja since you picked up watching. You've started to strip script out of your factory builds and implement more vanilla. Ah, nice one, man. Yeah, I mean, I've not got anything against script at all. They're fascinating and wonderful things, and there's some that I still like using regularly because there's no other way around them yet, but like I said before, with these event blocks, there's a lot of scripted stuff that anyone can do with a little bit of thinking and a little bit of logic. Yeah, there's loads of stuff we can do now. Right, so I want to have a walk forward control. Multiplayer script, yeah. So that you don't have the time to mess around. Learning to build the first mech really took more time. Building your first mech, mate, don't worry about it. It'll always be janky and weird at the beginning, and it will always take you longer to build the first few while you're figuring stuff out, and the more you learn, the more it becomes second nature, and the more you can bash it out real quick. Like, I've thrown this together this far in 2 hours, because the other stream before my internet broke was about an hour and a half, and we've done another 30 minutes here, and I've got this thing walking and moving and turning in 2 hours. So just stick at it, man. It'll take you a while to begin with, like I said, as you learn it all. And once you've learned it all, it'll come out much quicker, and you'll be able to throw ideas together much faster. So then we will also need a reverse control, because I also need to build the reverse controls. And we'll need a turn left and right controller. Put there and there. Yeah, that's a good idea actually. Let's set up the reverse walk stuff. Let's get that working. So, walk forwards. You two can turn off. No, we never even got around to naming them, did we? Right, so copy that. Paste that onto there, so that can then be not R01. Reverse. There we go. Turn that back on. Rob's device unknown. Hey dude. No, I'm not. I'm playing on my PC, but everything I'm doing here is completely console friendly. I'm doing everything here vanilla with DLC blocks and base game blocks. The only mods in this particular save file, give me 1 second, L01, L01, yeah, the only mods I've got in here are off mod.io anyway, so if you're on console, they are totally available to you too. Yeah, the only mods in here is that little welder and a rotor strength mod to make the legs on this thing a bit stronger, but literally everything else is vanilla. Oh, the wheel, that is a PC mod, that is Build Vision. That just makes my life easier when building. I don't know if it's available on console or if there's any sort of equivalent, because I'm not quite sure how it works. It might be an API based mod, but yeah, other than that wheel and like one block, everything here is vanilla. So we have forward control. Oh yeah, we need to build that reverse control. That's what we need to do. That shouldn't be too hard. We just need to do the opposite of what we did before. So, same thing. You know what, I might even actually do it off the back set. So it'll be the same thing. It has the forward. It will be blocks switched on and off. And I might actually go with the rear leg light for the reverse mode. So that the rolling legs, pardon. Sorry. So the controlling legs are at the front of the walk cycle, as it were. What's that, Rob? Oh, sorry, that was the message I saw before. You have it but no idea how to use it, you're a noob. Oh, don't worry about that, man. Stuff will come to you quicker the more you play it. Right, so that's going to be that, and when this light turns on and off, we are going to do things the opposite way round to how we did it with the walk forward. So, RL. Let's start with that then. So this, when we turn the light on, when we turn it on, it's going to move forward. So we want that to turn off when we move backwards. And then that will turn on and off. And then the next one will be mid-right. That will turn off there, I think. That will turn on and off, and that will turn on and off. Let's just do a quick little test of that. They're off, they're on. Where are they? Leg light RL01. Stick that there for now. 5. There we go. So that pushes backwards, lifts up. And didn't return for some reason. Did I turn that off? No. Oh. No, oh, no, because that's looking leg and back. So, let's add. Should just be able to add that leg into here without a problem. Hopefully. Or I can just change the control leg. You know what, I might just keep it simple and change the control leg instead. And just make it the front one. Maybe. What's that, Adria? You can't live without build info these days. Oh, I always use the wheel side of it. The menu side of it I don't really like that much. The wheel side I find much more fluid. Oh, I know what you meant anyway. Yeah, I find the wheel, the radial wheel, like much more fluid to do stuff with. The menu, the drop-down menu version of it's got, I think, a bit more details and stuff in it, but most of the time the radial wheel works perfectly for me. Yeah, so can we do that? Would it make a difference? You know what? Nah, sod it, let's experiment, let's see what happens. Let's leave that the way it is. Because we need to add more lights into here anyway. Oh, that was the sound of a drone crashing and being an idiot. Fantastic. Leg light. What do I need? FL is what I need now. Oh, hey Brad. What's that? When I get a spare moment, check out the robust ladder climbing with a quadrupedal robot video. The foot shape and other motion aspects could help with big mecha with inclines. Oh, I might have a look at that then. Yeah, I might definitely have a look at that. I'm always interested in looking at strange robotics things. Right, so the next thing is then we need to turn that off there, that on and off, and that on and off. That should do all the legs. On that side, I'll do the same thing with this one. We'll call this RR01. Put that in there. And then we will do rear right 01. No, we won't. We'll do rear right 0 because we need to turn that one off there. That one on and off, and then we need to do middle left, and that will turn that off there, that on and off, that on and off. Oh, what's that, Adria? You learned about build vision from Splitsy. Yeah, that's where I saw it the first time as well. I watched some of his videos and went, what's that? That makes life way easier. Being able to point at a grid rather than having to jump into a control seat every single time. Right, front right. It should be the last set, so we need to turn that off there, turn that on and off, and turn that on and off. Right. That should actually work now, because all of the... everything's plumbed in now. There we go. Yeah, so that's that one. And then front right 01 light, let's stick that in there. In fact, we can just turn on the walk cycle controller now, hopefully. Oh, no. Nope. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Right, yeah. That is going to cause problems, because of the way I have set up the walk controls. Yeah, I'm just going to have to change that back then. I'm going to simplify it. So yeah, let's redo that then. Ugh. Yeah, so that does just need to be the front one. Otherwise it's going to mess with the walk control cycle, and I'm going to have to screw around with that, and I can't be bothered. So that could be that. That could be... Ugh, that could be the wrong button. Walk, reverse, control, rear, front right, rather. Leg light, front right. Let's change these controls then. What do I need to change? Well, that needs to come out for a start. That'll be the one. And then I need to add in... rear left 0, rear right 0, 1. Ooh. On and off, just put it like that, so that should work. Take that out of there, rear left 0, 1, on and off. Right, so offset. Hang on. There we go. So that one and that one. So offset everything. Hang on. Ah, screwing things up. You're facing the wrong way. Where's that gone weird? Oh, what have I broken? Walk reverse. Oh. That's why. Quite possibly. Turn that back on. There we go. Right, now with any luck, that'll make us walk backwards. So we'll just do a quick test on that. Yeah, troubleshooting. Happens all the time. Every time you change something. And almost every time Keen changes something as well. Oh yeah, I keep doing that with the battery. Right, this time I need to remind myself to put some actual power on this thing. Right, so if I turn that on, there we go, we can now walk backwards. If I turn that off, turn on both of the walk controls, turn the reverse controllers off, turn the walk controllers back on, turn the walk cycle back on, we'll go forwards. Cool, there you go, we now have a forwards and a reverse control. Sweet. Right, actual power source on the grid. For now, you can just have... I'll just stick a little rotor there in a really awkward place to remind myself to get rid of it later. Well, I need something to give some power. Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, like I said, the more you play around with stuff, and the more of a feel you get for how, like, the mechanics of, like, walking in motion works, the better results you'll get, like, bit by bit. Like anybody's, like, early mech design, mine were janky, horrible things. In fact, the first mechs I built couldn't even walk. They were all just skimmers. Which is where a lot of people start. with building mechs in this game, I think, is just building something with legs that can get pushed around with thrusters. And then eventually you get tired of that and you just figure out how to do warp mechanics, whether it's by script or vanilla or whatever way. Seen a few different approaches to doing it. Right, so we've now got that and that to make us walk forwards and backwards. That one gets to be controller, turn left, copy that, or paste that onto there. What's that you're saying, Adria? You just get overwhelmed quickly with all the limit speeds, and yeah, it can get very overwhelming. And I think that is one of the things that puts people off about it the most. It can be very, very daunting when you're trying to build something and it's doing all sorts of mad stuff and you don't know what the answer is to fix it. There is a steep learning curve to it, but that's why I suggest building small first. Like, build small and build things with 4 legs. And get something with 4 legs walking and working. Like, this thing could work quite easily, with just 4 legs. And yeah, just start small. Don't try and add too many points of articulation, don't try and add too many hinges at once. And if stuff does give you grief, just do lots of testing and try ideas, see what works, see what doesn't. And if you get stuck, jump into the Mech Engineers Discord and ask. Someone will help you. And more often than not, if it's a thing to do with vanilla ways of doing stuff, it'll probably be me that's answering your pleas for help anyway. So, right, left, right control, forward control, reverse control. Now what I'd like to do is have these legs be able to move into a default position where they're all sitting nice and pretty rather than offset like they are now. So I'm going to need a couple of timers for that. I'm going to start putting some timers into here. I might end up putting some in the floor around this cockpit as well. Now, we will start with the timer here. Way around with it, that way. That's the wrong button. Oh, that's right. So we'll have walk forward. Start. Put that there. We'll have walk reverse start. What's that, Adria? Honestly, I didn't figure out how much we're asking for help in the Discord. It depends what you're doing. A lot of the guys in the Mech Engineers Discord do script-related stuff primarily. So unless you've got an issue with like problems setting up the script, you might not get the answers you're looking for. If you're trying to do vanilla stuff, there is a couple of us that do vanilla mostly things. So even if you don't think you're going to get an answer, ask a question anyway. Because a lot of the time when I jump into the Mech Engineers Discord, I literally just look around through the various rooms to see if anyone is asking for help with things. Because I like being able to help people out. So yeah, just leave a question in the whichever room it is, the help room, but yeah, just ask the question, man. There's no harm in asking a question. Right, so we'll have that, and that'll set us up to go into forward mode. We'll have that, and that'll set us up to go into reverse mode. And then we're going to need more timers, and we are running out of space in this pretty little bit, and I think I'm going to need that. Maybe... yeah, because I'm going to have to cut that back, because we do need to think about what the front of this is going to look like. At least a little bit. And then I'd need that space in there, realistically. Or we can just come back and block and have a little lip underneath. Still think I need to fill that in though. Let's put some timers in the floor then. Or on the floor by my feet. Got there. Gyroscopic operated autonomous transport. Goat. Ooh. Yeah. Cheers, Brad. You're always straight in there with the acronyms. Yeah, I like that one. I might actually use that. I like my little sort of 4-letter, like, or 3 or 4-letter, like little serial numbers for these things. Helps make sense of them in the control panels, and that can be walk. Stop. Alright, so what I want is all of the legs to sit like that to begin with, because I think that's going to be a little bit too far back. I think that'll be a bit better balanced. So we have the legs like that in their default position. The walk start timer is going to offset one set of legs. Oh yeah. We also need to turn off them, because they're going to be a pain in the arse in a minute. Oh, behave. There you go. Right. So, the walk start forward timer. When we need to put, first things first before we do anything else, is we need to put the leg lights in the correct positions. So, we need to offset everything. So we will have that one off. That stays on, that goes off. Front right will do the opposite of that, sort of. They will all be on. Middle left. You know what, let's space these out a bit. We've got the room. It will start getting a bit confusing. On, and on, and the next one will be the opposite of what we just did, in theory. So that'll be on, and then that'll be off, on, and off, I think. And then the rear set will be the opposite again, so off, on, off, and then on, and on. Oh, one of my drones being stupid again. Right, so if we trigger that, it should put all the legs into the position that we need to then engage the walk cycle. If we had the walk forward controllers on. So there we go, we'll turn that on. And that can engage our walk on controls. Then we turn that off for a second. So walk, start. So that sets the legs up in the positions that we're going to need. Then we will need the walk forward controllers to be turned on. And then we would need the walk cycle rotor to activate. I'm going to put that there now, so it's a little bit separated and we can see it a little bit better. And there's going to be a walk stop control. And that is going to put, well, actually first, the last thing it's going to do is do the legs. First thing it's going to do is turn off all the things that are going to conflict with it. So, in fact, first things first, it's going to turn off that walk cycle rotor. Then it's going to turn off the walk forward controllers. I might leave a little gap now, so that'll turn off. And that'll turn off. Oh, actually, no. We want... Oh, no, actually, it should be alright. Yeah, we'll turn off those controllers first. Just got to work out our order of priorities, so we know what to turn off in what order, to try and prevent as many conflicts as possible. Then we'll turn off the reverse controllers, and that way there's nothing automatically trying to make the legs move, so that's all off. And then once that's all off, we can then turn all of these lights on to move them back to their original default position. So that'll be the front left. And that will be the front right. That's the middle left. That, and that is middle right, or the middle ones. That's on, that's on, that's on. And then that is on, that is on, and that is on. So I should be able to trigger that and put everything back to its default position. And then we can see everything's now turned off. So we can click walk start. That doesn't need to be there. Trigger that, and it'll put all the legs into the right position. And then engage the walk cycle. Then we can stop that, and it puts everything back to where it should be. Trigger that, and it engages the walk cycle. Trigger that, and it all stops. Cool. So we can just pretty much copy that, copy those settings and set up the reverse walk controller, reverse walk timer, and do basically the same thing. So what did we do? We'll do the opposite. We'll make that one start the other way around. So it would be that. They would all be on. That would be on, off, on. That's the opposite way, wasn't it? That started. That, yeah. Yep, right, so that'll be that. LED lights, where were we? Middle left. Will be off, on, off, and then the right ones will all be on. And the last set will be on, on, and off, on, off, because we've got 3 sets of legs and they all do the opposite of each other as they move backwards. Right, so that can do that. So then we'll turn on our reverse walk controls. Walk, reverse, on and on. Walk, cycle, rotor, turn that on. So then it should be able to... yes, I am considering a kneeling position to help with boarding. That will be a separate set of controls, which I'll figure out in a minute. So I should be able to trigger that. And that puts it into reverse mode. And stop that and set it back to default. So let's do a quick test on the ground. Boing. Bum 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 bum. Take that out. Jump into there. Right, let's change all this. So we've got more simplified controls now. So we've got walk forward, walk reverse, and walk stop. So now we can trigger the first one to engage forward motion. We can stop that, and then we can trigger the other controller to engage reverse motion, and then we can stop that, and then we can put it back into forward again. Now we can stop it, we can stick it back into reverse. There you go. So there's some simplified forward and backwards controls now. Boiled down to 3 timers, and now that we've got that, we can set up the forward and reverse vanilla controls. And for that, we need a couple of thrusters. Bum bum bum, where should we put some? You know what? For now, we can just slap some down here, because the thrusters can ultimately go anywhere, really. And it doesn't take much to set them back up again. So the way I usually configure this sort of thing is to have 2 facing back. Bloody vanilla mode, mirror mode. So have 2 facing back and 1 facing forwards. Or, yeah, 2, yeah, you know what I mean. So then that gets to be walk thruster, forward, control. So that one gets to be walk, reverse control, and that one gets to be walk, thruster, override, and that one gets the tiniest bit of override, just so it ultimately has the same effect as turning inertial dampening off without actually having to turn inertial dampening off in here in case you want to use it for something else. Like if I wanted to use some thrusters on this to give it a jetpack mode for whatever reason, I could quite easily just turn that off, and then these 2 thrusters will use inertial dampening again. And it just makes it easier in the long run for doing this kind of weird stuff. Because otherwise, without it, you've got to turn inertial dampeners off to stop your legs jiggling and flickering and doing weird stuff in response to the thrusters doing their thing. So now that we've got that, we set up the controls. So that's going to be thrust output. I usually put it at 50% because you don't need a massive amount for these kind of thrusters. And then that can be forward control. And now all we need to do is set up these timers here, walk start and walk stop. So we can set that to off and off, then do the other way around, on, and then trigger and trigger. And that way it should turn on the walk cycle when I push forwards on that thruster. And then when I release it, it will stop it and flick that walk stop timer. And I will stick that there, and that there, and that there. You'll be able to see it in action. So the start timer is off, the stop timer is on. I hit forwards, that swaps around, and it does that. And then when I let go of the thruster, it triggers those timers and stops it and turns off the forward control. And there you go. Vanilla controlled walk mode. And you can see every time I flick that thruster, it kicks in. Every time I take my finger off it, it'll just stop it and reset it back to where it should be. So you shouldn't, in theory, you shouldn't be able to break that too badly. Might do the occasional strange thing, but then it should go back into its regular cycle. Right, then we can do the same for the reverse control. That is just as easy. That is thrust power over 50, reverse control, and then we just take the reverse control and the stop button. So again, off on opposite sides, and then on and trigger and trigger. And that way it triggers it when it's over 50% and stops it when it's below 50%. So now I should be able to engage reverse mode using that reverse thruster. Cool. I'm going to do a little test on that. Drop that in. Take that off, take that off. Jump in the control seat, hit forwards. There you go, that's us walking forwards. That's us going back to default. And then that's us walking backwards. Yeah. Simple. Cool. Right. So, I'd usually start wrapping up after about 3 hours, which is more or less what I've done today, but I want to go a bit longer and try and get this thing working properly, so I'm going to have another quick little break. Hopefully my stream won't die again. Grab another cup of tea, and we'll be back in 5 minutes, and I will attempt to set this thing up with some turning controls. So in the meantime, enjoy this drone, hopefully not being completely stupid. Although I get the feeling he is being completely stupid. Yeah, he was being completely stupid. He's just going to plummet out the air in a minute. Right, sod him. He can be daft if he wants to. There's still a few things in these I need to tweak with their landing and takeoff controls, so he seems to be flying well. Follow him for the next 5 minutes, and I will be back very soon. Right, I am back, and hopefully my internet is not being too shitty. Alright, where were we? We needed to make this thing turn around and move about. So we need to set up our turn left and right controls, and for that we need more thrusters. And we need some that are going to face left and some that are going to face right. And there we go. Right, so we'll have that and that for now. And that and that. Yeah, that'll do for the moment. So again, for this, we'll have turn thruster. That's actually going to be right. Control. Copy all. And then we'll do an override control for each of these, because I don't like having uneven builds. I'd rather have the same amount of thrusters on each side. Oh, stupid drone's crashing again because the AI is busted. Or being daft. Right, so that can be 5. And then we'll have this side here. Have that will be left control, and that will be left override. Then we can set up these controls here. So our turn gyros. What did we... Oh, I forgot to check what direction's turning what. I think minus does left and positive does right. I can't remember off the top of my head. No, just delete all that. Check what this is going to do. Turn. So minus does left, positive does right. Cool. So then, turn controllers, again, will respond to thrusters, 50%. Turn left's going to do turn left. Turn right is going to do turn right. That's power. That's thrust. That's want. Greater than 50% right turn thruster control. So when we turn left and right, all we need to do is adjust those turn rotors. So first thing we'll do is reset the velocity and decrease the velocity. We'll do the same thing with the other rotor. Reset and decrease, and that'll be our turn left control. But then we want it to stop again when we release the button, so we'll stick a reset and a reset velocity there as well. And that way, when I hit the left control, it turns and stops those gyros that you can see right there. And then we can do the same thing for the turn right. We've got that set up, turn right control, turn rotors, we can reset the velocity and increase it. And then we can reset the velocity and increase it. And then we can reset the velocity on both of those hinges, or both those rotors, sorry. Once again. So then we've got right control, left control. And take that, stick it on the floor. Cut all that out, cut all that out. Now we can turn left and right with the left and right keys. And we can walk forward, forward keys. And we can walk in reverse. And we can turn. And obviously, we need a little bit more power, as those thrusters are using a fair bit. Oh, there you go. It walks and it turns. Cool. Right, so what else did we need to do? I want to try and make it crouch so it's easier to get into. Oh yeah, that was one of the other things. Wasn't it? That needed to be at least a little bit further back. I think. And then still fall off the back of it. Oh, hang on. I remember what I was going to do. Bin all of that. Ooh. I need to delete that. What I was actually going to do is build a little loading ramp on the back that can fold up and drop down. Before I do that, I need to make the crouch control, and what that will do is I'll need a timer. Got a spare one here. Yeah, there's a spare timer. Right, we'll call that I'll just call it crouch on off for now. And what that can crouch, that's not the right word. That will have to leg light 0, 2, turn off all of those, or rather alternate between them. That junk. Stick that there. Trigger that. Oh, yes, that's something else we'll have to do with our walk, start and stop controls. I forgot about that. We need to turn off the return controls. So they will just make our legs spring back. Otherwise, we'll never get it to crouch. And then walk, stop. Forward, reverse, return, and return. Rid of that, turn them all off. Crouch button, right, you can't really crouch that far because of the shape of the legs. there's not a whole lot we can really do without making it tip over. I mean, oh, hey Jack. You were trying to stream with edited video of SC, but you're liking the live format. Yeah, I've tried to do like tutorial videos and stuff, but it ends up being a lot of work faffing around editing stuff, and that's a lot of work in itself, recording everything, editing, voiceovers, all that kind of stuff. And I find streaming much easier. Because then anyone that's watching is free to jump in and ask me questions. Rather than hoping that I cover something that they're particularly interested in a particular stream, particular video. Right, what if... Not like that. What if we make the... We'll make more of those... We'll make the feet lights move as well. Leg light. What does that need? 0.3. If I get the... When we leave those on, then turn off. Oh, no, that's not gonna work. If I just alternate them for now, what will that be like? That should end up tipping it back a little bit further. Let's have a little test of that, see what that's like. Ground level. To be honest, we're almost at the point of this where we can cut it off the stalk and just let it walk around freely. Jump in there. Jump out there. Crouch mode can tip itself back a little bit like that. What if I put all of them in? I'll keep trying to spell it with an N. I've just deleted the wrong things. Yes, I have. Damn it. 02. What have I just deleted? Middle. Rear. Full. Yeah, full. On. Let's change that to 0.3. Let's alternate all of them. What's it like then? Not a massive difference, but goods you're going to get. It's not likely to fall over yet. Yeah, so we'd have that. That could crouch. You know what? Let's call Smegging drones. Whatever. Just stay crashed wherever you are. Oh, cheers, Jack. Right, I'm gonna call it. It's time to put it off the stalk. I'll just work on this one now. What I'd like to do is put a little loading ramp kind of thing on the back, similar to these, so it can fold up and provide like a little bit of cover at the back as well, maybe. Let's copy that colour. We'll stick... Don't need it to be super wide. We'll just stick it like that. Now. Yeah, we'll try that. Right, so And then we are going to need 4 blocks. Cover it up. Yeah, I'm going to do it facing out like that. Or do we want to do it? Do it like that. That's got a little bit more of a connection. Do that. And we can do that. And then we would need to connect it up. Will you let me put that in there? No, because you're going to be a dick about it. Fine, we'll do it this way. So we need a block and a merge block and another merge block, and the light is green. It's all connected up. Stick that in there. What am I aiming at? Right, delete that, and then that is all one grid now. Sweet. Cool, right, so from there, oh, for God's sake, I'm doing it on the wrong one. Ah, you know what? There's no difference between the two. It's time to cut that down. We'll keep the other one as a backup, just in case. Yeah. We'll work on this on the floor now. Oh yeah, let's put... Ah, there. Every time I put that in there, I don't know why. Right. That's on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. So when we crouch, we go that low. And then that, we need to fall down a little bit. And I know from previous screwing around that you can just about get away with doing... Where is it? That in there. To make slightly less of a gap to step across. Bum, 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 bum. So, let's call that ramp hinge left, and call that 400,000 for now. Copy settings, copy all. Copy settings, paste. That can be rear right, and I'm going to take all the torque out of that for a minute, so that it's not fighting me when I play with this hinge. That can fold up like so. Which would leave us a little bit of space to put some half block bits in there to cover that door a little bit. And then we can use that colour. Put it that high for now. Do we need to go any further? Probably. How close does that get? Like that? Oh, that's steep. We'll never walk up that way. I don't know. And we can walk up that fairly comfortably, I think. Might be able to stick an extra half block on the end of that. Yeah, let's try that. Where's the half block? There it is. What was that then? That was about 50, wasn't it? Call it 50. 50 degrees, that's quite steep, but get up it, seemingly no problem. Cool. Then, what else do I want to do? I want to connect it up a little bit better. I also want it to look interesting and not clang out when we have it folded up, so we'll use half blocks there. Or half plates, rather. To do that. And we can have, like, a little bit of a grill in the middle. And some of that down there. And then we can quite comfortably get into the mech. Like that. Without any screwing around. Cool. And that can fold up. And because we used half blocks there, there's not a scrub in here. That connection there between that point and that point can scrub a little bit, but there's not much you can do about that. That can be about that high, and then we can bring that out a little bit to fill the gap with some details. Yeah, that'll do me. So, copy all of that again. Paste that back into there. Bum 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 bum. Then we need a button to turn that on and off. Let's do it with a light and an event controller. Let's stick it in there. Yeah, because that way we can have a little indicator light to let us know that the ramp is deployed. That will also double as the switch for it. Controller, ramp, on, off. We just need a little light. Where should we put a little light? Should we put it on the ramp itself? Actually, probably best good idea to put it in the cab. Let's just put it there for now. The good thing about using lights as switches for things, you can quite easily, most of the time, change them if you need to. Ramp light on, off. What am I doing? That's the wrong button. I want to change the colour of it. Let's make it... we'll do orange. Something. Yeah, I'll do that for now. Do that. We'll have it blink. Do 50%. Yeah, that'll do. Right, cool, so that can be the control switch for that then. So we've got the ramp controller on and off. block switched on and off. Ramp light on and off. And when the light is on, we are going to have it deployed, and when the light is off, it's going to be retracted. So, ramp hinges, when it is on, they are going to extend and deploy. So that one at reset, and increase, reset, and increase. And then because you can't put two of the same command next to each other, we'll have to do it the other way around. That'll be fine. So we can reset and decrease and reset and decrease that. So turning that on and off should now make the ramp go up and down. So on, it gets deployed, off, it retracts. And stick that on the toolbar. So now, when we turn that light on, it deploys the ramp. And turning that light off again brings it back up. And if we want to, we can put that on and off action for that light into a timer and make a proper button for it. Or we can use that light to do it. Whatever we like. Ooh, that's also something we could do. This door. We can tie the door into the whole thing. As well, we can make that open and close in unison with the ramp moving up and down. We take that ramp controller again. Where are we? There we are. So, door. So, when the light is on, it will open. When the light is off, it will close. There we go. That's on and deployed. And closed and retracted. And then we can get out of crouch mode. And then we can go do some walking. And we can walk in reverse, and we can turn. Oh yeah, that's the next biggest issue, isn't it? The next biggest issue is power. Because that one little reactor ain't enough. The things we're going to put on here. So what should we do about power? We could put our battery into the floor, potentially. But I want to leave as much of this room open as possible. So you can actually move about in here. So, what we're going to do, batteries probably. Batteries and small reactors. Two batteries saddlebag either side. Yeah, for now, you know what, Jack. That's probably what I'll do for the moment. And it's gonna be way more than we'll ever need in terms of power. But we'll give us a long battery life. So, for now, yeah, we'll just do that. That'll give us plenty of power for the moment. Yeah, smeg loads of it. Absolutely loads of it. Way more than we'll ever need, so I'll do some of that later, but that'll work for now. We can take that off the top and pick that back up. Right, so it can walk can turn, it can crouch, and it can deploy an exit ramp. It's got some slightly clangy legs. I might need to tweak a little bit. So I need to figure out what the front of it's going to look like a little bit better. And I need to figure out what I'm going to do with the controls, and I want to put some weapons on it as well. Nothing too fancy or elaborate like the super weapons, something a little bit more simple, but something to defend itself with and attack with. I also need to think about how I might want to convey that as well. I do need this to attach to the main grid somehow, so it can receive ammunition and fuel. Because I'm going to put at least one reactor on it. What should we do? That's bang in the centre. Might actually move those turn gyros, but if I did, they would be utter pain in the arse to armour up. Drop that down at least another block beyond that. I think I may need to move these a little bit. Where's the centre of that? The centre of that is there. Yeah, it's going to get stored on the base, Brad. It's definitely going to get stored on the base. I just need to now consider how I'm going to connect it up. It's going to somehow get up here and live in this area. It's the right size to fit through there. It's going to connect up somehow. I'll probably end up building some kind of rig in that kind of vein. Maybe slightly different to grab it and pick it up. Means I need a top side connector for it to feed into the connector system. Otherwise it'll be an absolute nightmare. You know what, I might actually move that gyroscope to here. Which is the wrong colour anyway. Yeah, I might move that to there, because that gives me a little bit more room in the middle to make a connection point. And maybe some kind of conveyors or weapons, because I'd like the connection point to be bang in the centre. I don't want it to stick up much higher than it already is. Ultimate drilling, cargo, weapons, snap-on. Yeah, like I was saying before, snap-on controls can be a bit funny when you want to do mech stuff. I'm definitely going to make some variants of it. I might make some more utility versions of it. But it's all kind of about what I can squeeze into this space. Yeah, I'll need to do it on that one anyway, but put that in there, it'd give me a bit of room in the centre. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Right, so before we screw anything up, we'll do a quick little save. Take that out of there, we'll take mirror mode off because it's just confusing. Now I turn mirror mode off, thank you. Let's grab that colour. Which way round is that rotor? I'm pedantic, I like them to be the right way round. Let's see. There we go. Take that while here. Right, so we're going to copy all the details from that. Paste them onto that one instead. And then I can just delete that, put that. I should be able to paste that onto there nicely. There we go, that's on there. So now I've got this space in the middle to do something with. Because yeah, that's the centre. I want to try and get the connection point in there. Yeah, potentially. Hopefully. Because then we need... we need one of them. Then one of them. And then that'd be the bare minimum we need to connect it to the base. And then we can use some of these blocks, because I'd like to try and get a weapon mount on it somewhere. That's the problem where the weapon mount would be. I'd actually want the weapon to be kind of central. Maybe have the connection point at the back, actually. Not one of those blocks because they look bloody awful. Do one of those T blocks. And tell which way around it is. There we go, do that. And then that could actually be the connection point for the base at the rear of it. Doesn't really matter where it's going to connect to. Because if I put a turret on the front and the connection point in the middle, the turret wouldn't be able to fold up enough to stay out of the way and not clang out on that. I don't think, anyway. So yeah, right, in theory, I could then put... It's end up being taller than I like, probably, but whatever. I want to have some kind of, like, tank turret type thing on this one. What's that? Is that 0? I can't tell with the glare from the sun. There we go. Yeah, that's 0. Yeah, so I have that like that. Otherwise we'd have to bury that in the floor and then make the connection lower, and that would not work. So it's going to have to be there. And that's going to have to be there. And then I want to have something just like pretty simple for now, and just have an auto cannon on it. Which annoyingly has its connections on the side, or at the very end. Yeah, I'll do it like that, we'll armour it up and cover it a bit. Yeah, because that is just in line with what I think is the the limit, so we could either do it like that, or we could potentially that there. If we... yeah, what actually? If I put that in there like so. Push that all the way up. That way we could have it a block lower. We could have that like that. We could have a cannon on the end of it like that, which could essentially fold up like that. Oh, that's close. Very, very, very close. Alright, we might move that another block back then. So that'd give us more room, and that'd fold up quite nicely. What do we reckon? Central cannon or foldy up front side cannon? I'm going with foldy up front side cannon personally. Oh, but I'd still need to make it a block higher because connection points. Yes, I'm still gonna have to move that. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's take that out once again. Let's take that out. That can go back. We need to make that not there T connection, so then we can put a little bit of conveyoring at the side and cover that up with a little bit of armour. And that can connect into there. We can armour that up. Then we can have a rotor on there. Oh, actually, I might change that to a... Oh, damn, no, because the angle of it, that wouldn't work. Not... You know, I might just take that out anyway, because it's not doing a massive amount there. Oh, hey Dark Matter. Oh, cheers man, new to the channel. Well, welcome to the crazy mech party, where we tempt Clang at every moment. I'm cool, man. I'm good. I'm just messing around with some ideas for a walking APC. And once I've got all the bits in place, I can crit it up and make it look less boxy. But if you've only just tuned in, so far we have built a vanilla walking mech that can walk forwards, he can walk backwards, and he can turn left and right. Oh, he can turn left and right a bit, but I need to redo the turn controls because I just moved them around. So let's sort that block out that we deleted. Turn control should be C01. Yeah, it is. What have I done there? I need that. So that can go, that can go, that can go. Right, so we need to reset the velocity on that and decrease the velocity on that. That's the one. And then we need to reset velocity on that one. That should be right. We should now be able to turn left. I need to rebuild the right control so we can turn right properly. How much time does this take? It depends on how complex you're building and how much you know about the way the mechanics work in this game. For me now, I can throw these kind of things together fairly quickly. It's only taken me 3-4 hours to get to this point. I've ended up doing 2 separate streams today because my internet died halfway through. But I did an hour and a half, and then I've done another 2 hours on this one, so yeah, in 3.5 hours we've gone from nothing to this little walking shed that you can see here. So the time it takes just depends on skill and knowledge, really. The more you mess about with it, the more you learn. The more you learn, the quicker you can knock the ideas out. Right, so we're going to change this one. Yeah, it's like anything, man. It takes time and practice. I mean, if you want to do it with scripts, you can throw stuff together a lot quicker. But scripts have their own inherent problems of tweaking settings to get things to work properly. So it's all swings and roundabouts. So turn control C01. We need that to increase. So that's going there. Increase that, so that's the one. And then we need to reset that one. So now I can turn right and I can turn left. Cool, that's back to normal then. There we go. We can turn right while we walk forwards, and we can turn left. What's that? You're on PlayStation. Yeah, scripting is a massive pain if you're on console. You can use some, you can't use some, a lot of them are server dependent, blah blah blah, it's a pain. That's why everything I'm doing here is vanilla. It's literally all just event controllers and vanilla blocks. There's no script in here, and there's no mods in this particular mech. Everything you see there is just event controllers. And yeah, that's what I mean about having all the event controllers on display. You can see it all ticking over when you're doing stuff. That's stop, that's forward, and that's reverse. And you can see it all ticking over. That's why I like doing it with event controllers. If you just bundle all that into one script, you just have one little screen somewhere, and it wouldn't look quite as cool on the inside. Right, so we've got that, we've got that. We need to build the turret. So that's going to go there. That's going to go there, and then we were just going to have, for now, a basic artillery cannon, assault cannon. Oh, what's that, dark matter? There's a guy called Engineered Coffee. He plays Space Engineers. Engineered Coffee often tunes into my streams, and I've watched quite a few bits of his stuff as well. We've chatted a few times. He's a sound guy. Occasionally he might pop into the chat in my streams. But yeah, man, there's a lot of good streamers out there that are doing cool and interesting space engineer stuff. Everyone's got their own little niche. Right, so that can be that. That can be... we'll just call it assault rotor. Make things a little bit easier to manage. We'll call that 500,000. Let's put that on 0 so we can get it a little bit lower. And that can be assault hinge. We'll stick some shear inertia tensor on that to stop it wiggling, and to hopefully help with the recoil a bit when it fires, because assault cannons are... Ooh, that's too much. That's still too much. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 500,000. There we go. And then... just behave. Thank you. There we go. Right, so... what's that? Oh, you're about to start 100-day survival. That's cool. Yeah, to be honest, I'd love to do a survival stream with mechs at some point, like a survival series rather than stream. But mechs are such a pain in the arse in like full survival games when you break something. Like if you crash a ship or a rover and you smash up some suspension, it's not much of an issue to just pop another one on and rebuild the wheel. If you break a leg on a mech in survival mode, it is an ordeal sometimes to rebuild all the stuff. Which is why I'm trying to come up with simplified ways of doing it to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I'd love to do something like that, like a stream series survival mode with mechs, but it's just such a pain without being able to blueprint, without being able to project subgrids properly. Although I suppose I could... I'm sure there's a plugin or a mod for it. I'm sure I could just get that and do it that way, I suppose. No, put that there, put that there. Then we could cover that up a little bit. Like so. We could maybe have a ridge of that across the top, seeing as it's going to be like that anyway, and then that can go there, and then that actually quite nicely meets up there. And then we've got that awkward bloody shape as always. Now let's take that out. And what can I do with that? What's that? Blueprint the legs and then project the build in the game, in the game resources. Possibly. Right, what's that? Dark matter. Trying to record on PlayStation is hard because the PlayStation app doesn't allow. Yeah, I know. One of my brothers is a PlayStation guy, and there's a few. Pardon me. There's a few very confusing limitations with PlayStation and Xbox as well. There's particularly with PlayStation, like he's complained about some things in the past that I've just gone, what? How is that not possible? And yeah, so I've got a vague idea of what you mean, man. I know PlayStation can make things difficult sometimes. Right, so we can cover that like that, have that like that, and that can be that, and that can be that. We can figure out a better way to armour that up and make it look nicer, or just make it look more interesting. We can slap one of those cameras on top, because I like those cameras. That could be camera assault cannon. That's our assault cannon, that's the hinge, that's the rotor. Cool, and eventually we'll build some walls up around the outside of this, and we probably will end up needing some lighting in here at some stage very soon. Some internal lighting is probably going to be handy, but now we can jump in there. Yeah, that moves quite nicely. Right, so that is going to need at least one turret controller. And I do think I'd like to maybe get... I need a button for that really now, don't I? Oh, what have we got button-wise? Small grid. That's something I'd really, really like. More buttons in small grid. These are good, but I'd really like it if we could have something like the large grid. Button panels, like those two. Something like that, a small grid, would be fantastic, please, Keen, if you're out there listening. Maybe do something like that, and then we can have a whole bunch of controls tied into some of these. So for now, we can put the ramp light on that. Cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, actually, that's an idea. How fast does the big one move? The big one can move about 8 meters a second. 9 meters a second. They are all going to clang when I start moving, but smeg it. Damage is turned off anyway. Have they all crashed? Is every single one of them screwed up? Bloody have, haven't they? Feckin' drones. They've all been misbehaving today. Yeah, you crashed down there. Oh, for God's sake. That's why you were on timeout. But anyway, yeah. Pardon the clanging noises you're about to hear. That's the drone scrubbing. But yeah, the big one can walk. You can jump into the control seat for it. It's got some fall down bits. And it's got pretty much the same walk control as the little one that I was building. Yeah, there'll be a lot of clanging sounds for a moment. But yeah, you can walk. You can move. And he gets up to about 6, 7, occasionally 8 meters a second, depending on how well his feet want to grip. But he's got the same same basic settings as that little walker. He's got a forward. I've not built his backward mode, but he's got a forward and a stop control. And he uses a set of thrusters that are built into this control seat to do all that. And I'll get back to those. Oh, yeah, that's where you are, is it? Yeah, I'll get back to them eventually. Their AI has been playing up for a couple of days. But yeah, right, so what was I doing? I wanted to tie the crouch mode into that ramp. Turning on and off. So let's put that ramp, that crouch control into here. If I move that, put that there, I can take that crouch timer I made earlier and trigger that there, and trigger that there, so that when we turn that ramp light on and off, we crouch at the same time. I've seen some of the new blocks. There we go, we can crouch and deploy the ramp altogether. Cool. Groovy. Might need to put some fail-safes in there to stop walk mode being active when we've got the ramp down, as that will cause problems. But for now, that works pretty well. Oh, actually, we could do it the other way around. And we could have this button be the control for all of that. Instead, if we take that back out of there, put that door back the way it was, that closed again, we could in fact use that button instead of the light to crouch and deploy the ramp, which in turn means we can change this to just be the crouch button. Cool, and then we can turn, and we can move around, and we can walk. We can deploy that ramp. Crouches down. We can get back in. Yeah, that works pretty nicely. There, right, let's put a bit more armour on the front of this then. Oh yeah, that's a point. Right, before we go any further, fold that up. And I just want to check that this actually fits through one of these doors. There we are. Oh, of course I've got it on an angle. It's going to be tight, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be tight, but it fits. There's still a bit of space at the front. There's a bit of space at the back. Right, so that can't be any bigger than that. And that's retracted all the way round. That's fine. Yeah, so that'll be able to fit through that gap. That's cool. Right, so that means we can't really make it any wider than it is. Oh, yeah. The gun will turn. I think there's a little bit of a delay between what I'm doing and what you guys see. What if I do that? There's like a little... Yeah, that'll be fine. That's not going to cause too much problems. Yeah, so that can be the front, sort of. What's that? I should have the gun go to the inside. Yeah, the problem with having retractable guns is clang. To make that retract in any sort of way, I'd have to sensibly give it half a block of space either side. Because you can make a system that will pull it through that gap, but I promise you it will scrub. It will clang out, and it will occasionally create phantom forces and make your entire mech start doing cartwheels. Retractable weapons are a bit iffy sometimes. You have to have a little bit of extra space for them, which I'm probably not going to have on here. So I'm just going to have it fold back on itself when it needs to dock, and that should be fine, hopefully. I've not got enough vertical space, but I think I will do. Right, so let's make the front of this. So we have that there, and we have that all the way up there. What's it like from here? Not the greatest view, but what windows have we got in small grid these days? We've got these ones now, haven't we? Ah, right, so they need a connection point on the outside. That's what I could do there. We could change that to one of them, and one of them either side. I want to try and use some of these new blocks that I've not used before, really. And seeing as they are 2 blocks wide, why not? Oh, but they are that extra block. Aren't they? That's going to... Oh no, but I've got a little bit of space to work with at the back, haven't I? Yeah, I think I can get away with that just about. That's getting harder and harder to get back in. Could actually even move that control seat forward again, depending if we want. Oh yeah, because I want some kind of display screens in here, so I can see stuff. What's that? I know from experience, yes, with making retractable weapons, that is definitely an experience thing. I've tried with a few different kinds of setups, and it mostly just comes down to the fact that not every block has a collision field that actually matches the model that you can see. Some blocks just scrub when you put them next to each other on subgrids, and things like it's usually an issue with the armor blocks. They're just like off by a few pixels, and it can cause scrubbing and clang and phantom forces. And if it happens too much, it can make things explode, which is never fun. I do it like that on the inside, so that folds in nicely to those windows. Then we have that bit at the bottom, and on there, how much space have we got in front of us? I left a block of space, so I could... I can either move that forward block, and I lose that gap in front of me, or I can take that colour, take that off, put that there. I can just about see the screen on it. Cool, that's a screen I can use. And then that can be the control unit for the assault cannon. We can get a few LCDs in here. As long as we put them the right way around. Yeah, because we have a bunch of stuff across the bottom of that. And then potentially block of space behind it for more stuff. I'm going to have remote control blocks on it. Yeah, I will. With most of my mechs, I usually stick AI controls on them as well, so you can pilot them remotely or pilot them with AI. Like this dude down here should have AI control settings, so he can follow me around. The AI is not quite as good as piloting it manually, but it works well enough to make things move about. Or he can turn that off, and he can be controlled manually. And he's got the same kind of setup as the APC thing I'm working on. A thruster that triggers a bunch of event controllers and lights and things. But yeah, there'll definitely be some AI remote control kind of thing going on here. I'm not liking the front though, it's too boxy. What do you do about that? Let's peel this back a bit. Maybe that, and that. Take that and that out. What do I need to make that look nice? Or make it look not crap. Where's those blocks? Those are weird new blocks that we've got. 1, 2, 3, that's the one. That on there. And well, I've got a matching block for that. Yeah, that'll do for now. Oh, for God's sake, why have you not done that? One, two, three. There we go. That's the one. No, it's not. 1, 2, 3. It's that one. Can you have the front fold out? Maybe. I don't really want the front to do much folding out. I'd rather have these subgrids at the back where it's less likely to get shot in the face. And I can't really make it any longer in either direction if I want it to fit through one of those doors. I could... What could we do? What else can we do? Yeah, because that's as far back as I can take that, really. What if we do that and that? Oh yeah, then we can just use that. Oh no, not that one. What shape have we got there? Oh, it's the rare use that you actually get to use that shape. The rare occasion. Or we can peel that back and do it that way. No, because then that would be Yeah, let's do it that way. Use that for a change. What did I remove from there? I need to replace that. Go there. That can go there, and then we could use one of those new shapes. Like that there. It's starting to make that look slightly less boxy. Not really do much with the top. Not massively anyway. Do that. Do that, do that. I can peel a little bit of it back to make it look less boxy. Without actually being much less boxy. So we have that there, we could have that. Where is it? That one, actually. Yeah, that one. That one, and that one. Might get some better angles in, because the only other thing we can do really is move this further back, and then we have that problem with there again, so I might just leave it at that. I won't screw with it anymore, it'll just cause lots more problems. Oh yeah, let's change that in there now. Yeah, is what it is. That shouldn't scrub anyway, that should be fine. That actually gives me a few connection points. Alright, that'll do for trying to make the front look less boxy. Or how long was that? 9 blocks. How long is that? That's 9 blocks. Could actually even move the connection point of that back here. And then that way the gun doesn't have to swivel around. And we'd have less problems trying to make this look nice and less boxy, essentially. Let's just have a quick go of that. So if I took that off of there, got rid of that, open that up, stick that in there, take them out, there we go. What way around are they? That way around. That could go there. That could go there. Then we would have advanced rotor, hinge. Oh, come on, connection point. There you are, assault cannon. That way, that's still quite close. And, block further forward. once again be some of them, one of them. Where is it? That one. There we go. That can do that. That can stay there. That can do... Right angle? Yeah, that's a right angle. That can do that. That can do that. An ore detector, yes. I usually put some detection scanner stuff on there. There's usually a beacon, an antenna, an ore detector when possible. Something this size, I'd definitely put an ore detector on. Just to make it that little bit more useful. So we do it like that maybe. And then that is inside there. So then we could cut all of this out of here. And then we wouldn't actually need most of that conveying at all. Might leave some in for ammo storage. In fact, I might put a few ammo containers in there. Take that out, take that out. What was that? Oh yeah, that was that. So we could... Oh yeah, so we could do... that. And then have the 2x1 slopes across. No, not there. Leave a little bit of a lip there. Now, maybe. Or actually, we can come back further. Take that and that and that and that out. That and that and that can go in there. We've got these new blocks, or relatively new ones. So we could either do that, or we could do that. You know, I'm going to do it like that, so it's got a nice angle all the way up from there. Still a bit boxy, but there's not much you can do about that. Yeah, okay. Then we don't need half as many conveyors. We do need to secure that back up though. Right. And then what else can we do? So I'm connecting through there and there. We're going into there. I would want, seeing as I'm doing this entirely vanilla, I would want some sorters to pull the ammo for us. And also double as ammo storage. That can be that, that can be that, that can be R01. That will feed into there and pull stuff directly into the gun, even when the gun's switched off. And then we can pop in a bit of ammo storage. Maybe one, maybe two, maybe four. Oh, is that bloody Discord link not working again? If you go on Discord and just look for Mech Engineers, the Space Engineers, Mech Engineers group, that is what that link is supposed to be too, but I can't seem to get it to work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, if you go on Discord and look for Mech Engineers, hosted by a guy called Eternal Colossus and Dragofish. That's the Discord. It's not my Discord link or my Discord server. It's just the general Mech Engineers group that I'm part of. No, is it not working? Oh god, that's stupid. I'll speak to the guys that run the Discord and see if I can get a link that actually works properly off them, because anyone's welcome to join it. It's not like a private group or anything. Anyone that's into mech building and space engineers is free to join, as far as I'm aware. That's like that, that's like that. That could potentially come back another block. And we could... what are we doing? I don't want to delete that block yet, because that will cause me problems. I stick that and that there to connect that up for a second. And if I delete that, I can put in one of them, and then we could have not a connector. There we go. We have a little bit of cargo access up there. It's not in the way, but we can get into the conveyor system then from here. Because we can't connect the seat up because that doesn't have any conveyor ports. What's that? Go to invite and edit and... oh, right. Yeah, I'll have to check that out later. I will sort that out after the stream's finished. I've done that before with the Discord link. I'm absolutely certain I've set it up to not expire, and it's still... people like yourself have said you haven't been able to use it or connect to it. So I'm not entirely sure. I'm not really a Discord person. I just put it on there because people kept asking if I had a Discord page, and I don't, but that's the one that I'm on most frequently. So that could be ammo container. Main. Get into that one. So the connector's up there, that will pull through these two sorters, which will need a little bit of updating. So we can get assault cannon shells through them, change them both to white list, and change them both to drain all, so whenever they connect up, they will automatically fill everything with the ammunition you need. Oh, that's a point. I want to get a reactor on here, but I don't want it to be tied into that, because I don't want it to be automatically rammed full of uranium, because it'll take loads and loads and loads of it. And we're getting tight on space for this kind of thing. I'll have to change the back end of it a little bit. So I take that. And if I change it to... where was it? It's that one. That's the one I literally just had. Where's it gone? Not that one. That one. Oh yeah, I'm doing it the wrong colour, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. I can do that. That. All of that. All of that. Gets to be that colour. There we go. Right. Then we can armour that all back up. And I'm going to call this quits in about 10 minutes probably. So that's been about another 3 hours, and it's time for me to go to bed really, because I've got things I need to do tomorrow. Right, so that can be armoured up, and then we can pop a little reactor on the back of here, because that is behind the sorters and won't get rammed full of uranium or be blocked off from uranium, and they pull stuff on their own anyway. And it's not likely to get switched off too often. Now we could do that, and we do there. Ugh, wrong way. Arm the back of it up like that for now. Where's that? There it is. And then we can do something at the back with that. We could probably do with some buttons to access that ramp down here. There we go. I'll do that the same on that side, so we can access it from either side. Climb back in, close that back up. We're looking at like in here. Not too bad. Oh, we do want to change that though. Do that. Where's that cargo container gone again? There it is. That can go there. That. The ammo container main again. That'll be the one we access stuff through. Oh yeah, that hideous thing. I can change that to an air vent and mostly get rid of that stupid thing and actually make it look a bit cooler. Cool. Right, that'll do that, that'll do that. Yeah, that's got plenty of room. And sort of see out the front. I'm going to stick cameras on it anyway. And it's looking considerably less boxy now. Looking a bit nicer. I reckon I could probably even sneakily get some guns into the bottom of it as well. If I had a good think about how I conveyor it. I can't really go much wider than, I can't really go any wider than the legs. But I can get some more conveyors in there. You can't get it to come up on the Discord. Ugh, that's annoying. I will have a look at it again after this stream. And try and get it working. And if it still doesn't work, I'll speak to the mech engineers guys and see if they can help me at all. Like I said, it's not actually my Discord server, but as far as I know, anyone is welcome to join it. Right, so he can walk about. He can turn left and right. We can let ourselves out. Oh yeah, I need to set that up again though. Salt rotor. $500, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that wants to be as high as it can go, I think. Oh no, actually no, because the way I built it, I can actually bring it down to 0. That wants to be a salt hinge and have some shear inertia tensor on. And then that. Yeah, let's make the top limit 20. And the lower limit can be minus 45 for now. Yeah, that shouldn't clang, that should be alright. Not the angles they can work out. Why did that do that automatically? Oh. Ah, right, yeah, I need a fail-safe for that when the ramp's deployed. Right, control unit, cannon, azimuth. Cannon rotor, cannon hinge. And add the assault cannon. There we go. We've got a assault cannon we can control. The basic setup. I'll stick some lights and a camera and all that kind of stuff on it at some point. Right, let's put that on the toolbar for a minute. Cool, right. So yeah, I reckon with a bit of persuasion and a bit of fiddling around, I could probably conveyor up some guns underneath and give it some Gatling guns or some arms that can do things. Maybe have drills on them, maybe have probably just guns, to be honest. But it could be a potential base for a more utility kind of version. But yeah, you can walk and you can turn quite happily. Not hearing any hideous clanging noises coming from it. It's always a good sign. And we can just as easily stick it in reverse mode and walk backwards. Yeah, cool. Right, so yeah, that's been another 3 hours. I'm going to call that quits on this one, because I've done about nearly 5 hours of streaming today. It's pretty much time for me to go to bed, but that is working quite well. You can deploy the ramp, you crouch us down. You can retract the ramp. You'd even set it up to retract the ramp quicker. I don't want it to deploy the ramp quicker in case it smashes into the floor. Last thing you want. But that works quite well. Then we can work out how we're going to pretty up the gun a bit. I've got a few ideas. I might even expand the weapon a little bit. And then we'll have to figure out how we're going to get it up there and into that thing. And I need to build some kind of docking apparatus that can pick this heavy ass thing up. Would even give it a jump pack so it can jump itself, but then that'll make docking it automatically. Don't know, we'll try some ideas. But yeah, I'm gonna call that quits for now and leave it there. And I will be back at some point in the future, maybe tomorrow or the day after, to do some more nonsense with that thing. And a bit more nonsense with that thing. Actually, in fact, before I completely knock off, I have done a little bit of greebling inside this thing now that I didn't get a chance to show off earlier. So like I was saying, we've got the beginning of the next set of bays. All the mechs that I need to set up. I need to put that one back. And then up here, I've started putting some lighting in and stuff. We've got a crash drone. I wondered where you were. That's going to be access into these drone bays eventually. In here we've got the beginnings of our factory. So we've got our big reactor in the middle. We need to put some more lights in here, but we've got a couple of assemblers with room for modules. Got another set over there. Got a little room that needs finishing. It's got a reactor in it. Refinery. And there's another one on this side. And it's eventually going to have some O2, H2 generators in these two. And then that's just the back end that we've not done an awful lot with yet. And then up here we've got the next level that I've made a start on. Started doing the floor, making it look cool and interesting. We've got some access out here to the drone pads. There's another crashed one that's being stupid. And this is our gyro control for the main base. That might need to get expanded as it increases in mass. But I think up here I'm going to start building some of the storage stuff for fuel and bits and pieces and all that kind of jazz. And then we've got the beginnings of the next floor up, which is pretty much going to end up being the habitation deck, with rooms and medical rooms and bunks and stuff. And eventually a catwalk. No, it's not this floor actually. It's the next one up. And there's going to be ladder access to get to the next deck. I've not quite decided what I'm going to do with all of this space. I might put quite a few bunks in for quite a lot of crew. And then there'll be a corridor out here to access the super weapons. Well, the railguns. I need to figure out how I'm going to get access to those ones down there. And then finally we make our way back up to the bridge with our supercomputer and a bunch of controllers that need setting up, and our cockpit and light glitching through the seam in the blocks. Cool. So yeah, that's the little tour of it so far. Still need to do lots of tweaking with those drones and build a few other things. Build a few more docking bays under here. Get them all sorted out. Armour up the bottom a little bit so it's not so patchwork. All those floor blocks. Yeah, that'll do. That's it for now. I will see you all next time. So cheers for watching, cheers for chatting. I will try and sort out that Discord server link. And try and get it working. But yeah, it's just the Mech Engineers Discord server, if you can find it any other way. For now. But yeah, cheers for watching, cheers for chatting. I will see you all next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.